to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me today, it's Taylor.
What I really meant to say is I'm sorry for the way I am. Never meant to be so close. Slap through.
And Jay.
It's Jay. That is a song that I couldn't tell you who sang it. Shinedown? Who is it?
No, close.
It's one of those kind of bands, though.
Shine Up.
Yeah.
Close. It's not Shinedown. It's Shine Up.
Crossfade is the name of the band.
No, it's not.
I swear
That's
it
not.
is.
No,
Wow.
no.
Jamon? But listen, that was actually a request.
Was it really?
Yes, I had a request. Someone made, you know that song, right? Someone made a Shay highlight video, and that was the song for the
Seriously?
Shay highlights, and it was very funny. I'll send you the video because
Wow.
it feels good. It feels wrong, but it feels good. Also, it's just funny. He's apologizing for being so cold. Shay is. I loved it. So
Well,
thank you.
Shay could apologize again last night for being so cold to the Kings, except for they lost. They lost 128-123. Shay almost hit his career high. 44 is his career high. He had 43 last night. 43, 6 and 9 with 2 steals, only 3 turnovers. He was really good. 16 of 18 from the free throw line. He was trying to drag that team to victory, along with Giddey, who was awesome in the third. Dort played really well last night, but just a almost complete no-show offensively from J-Dub. He finished with 5 points on 14 shots and the biggest brick ever at the end of that game.
Oh my God.
I was watching the Kings broadcast, and almost before the ball got to the rim, the play-by-play announcer goes, "Brick."
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. J-Dub's shot was so off.
It was
last night.
it was really bad.
He was short most of the night, and then he was really good at hitting the rim last night. I mean, he had that down. But he couldn't find like rhythm driving either.
Yeah.
He was just having a tough night.
Just
Off night.
clank. It was tough. And then Chet had shout out to Mark Degnault, who challenged 2 plays in the fourth quarter and got them both correct. One was this Chet block at the end that the Kings broadcast was very sure that it was going to be a foul. And Chet was, and this is kind of how the challenges work with the Thunder team, is if the player is adamant that it's, and a lot of times it's like multiple players that are adamant that, a foul didn't happen, like he'll challenge it. And so it's like definitely like a team effort. So like you want to give credit to Mark, but
It feels like he will
go. It's a team effort.
He won't throw the challenge. He'll listen to his player and then watch the replay.
He watches with the most squinty face ever at the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
And then he looks back to somebody on the bench.
And then he will make.
And then he'll do it.
Yes, that's true. If he's not getting like sometimes you'll look over at the bench and one of the coaches will be like, no.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But if they don't, he's going to do it. He's going to twirl the finger. Which is a hilarious gesture. It's just a funny gesture.
It's a funny gesture. Woohoo.
So, anyways, Mark did everything that he could. Shay did everything he could.
Too bad Mark can't get on the floor and show them, what needs to get done on the court.
I mean, I don't know about that.
Too bad.
But Shay did miss a layup down the stretch too. So it's like not all on everybody else.
But primarily.
It's primarily on Chet and J-Dub. Josh Giddey actually played well. Josh finished with 18, 8, and 4 with 2 steals and a block. He was good last night. That was a really good Josh Giddey game. So
First half was terrible.
First half wasn't so great, but like
third quarter was good.
If 18, 8, and 4.
Yeah,
dude,
it should have been 20 because there was a play that
yes, I know exactly what you're about to say.
He got the ball, and I think it was Fox that was on him.
It was.
And Fox was behind him, and he was basically underneath the basket and could have just taken basically like one kind of post-up move backward and made a layup with out much resistance, and instead he threw it, trying to make a baseline pass to, I don't know if it was Kenrich in the corner or who it was, but instead he just threw it right to the Kings. And then followed that up with a terrible foul.
There was also
on a lazy defensive play that led to an and one.
Well, yes.
So he lost the game too. Everybody but Shea, actually. Y'all should apologize.
Giddey also there was a charge called on him on a play. I think it was on Malik Monk. That was just obviously not a charge at all. Malik Monk had like one of his feet, he had a foot off the ground, and Giddey was going to the basket, and they called a charge. There's just no way it was a charge.
Should have challenged it.
It was insane. It was absolutely insane that was called a charge.
Optics call. Yeah, Chet had a really hard time with Sabonis last night.
He did. Yeah. Domas is really good. Domas is super good, and he's been awesome this year. He gives a lot of guys the business. He gives Anthony Davis the business. He gives Chet the business. He's really good, man.
He's so good. But he knows how to use his body so well to keep Chet just far enough away where his reach doesn't matter.
So strong. Yeah.
Like he'll just give an elbow or place his other arm just on the perfect spot of Chet's arm so he can't really jump, or get a good reach on the ball.
Yep.
And he just flips it up. He's great. Jay's watching some videos right now.
What? Autoplay ads, man.
Be present, dude.
Get out of here. No, I'm trying to figure out.
Present.
I literally, I'm watching this moment last night, and I'm like, who is Keon Ellis? I don't remember him until he was 5 of 7, I think, last night from the 3-point line.
He was good.
And then I was like, okay, was that a fluke thing? He's actually shooting 39% over the course of this year from the 3-point line.
Drafted 2 years ago by the Kings, second rounder.
He's the guy that's replaced Davion Mitchell
from Alabama
in all of their minutes.
Yeah, he's a little bigger than Davion, which is the truth of every player in the league.
He's a small guy.
But yeah, Keon Ellis, I'm in on Keon Ellis. I have been since the draft. He's from Alabama. He's like a solid player.
Let me give you some statistics about the guy Chet Holmgren. Okay. Against the Sacramento Kings, 2 games this year. What do you think he's shooting from the 3-point line against the Kings?
0%.
0%. Has not made 1 3-pointer.
How many shots?
Them. I don't know. Doesn't matter right now.
I think it's probably like 4
I could look it up right now. But
I mean, he missed 2. He missed 2
wide open.
Like from the corner, they were down 2. Hit him. It was the perfect play.
Let's just say this. Everyone missed their wide open shots that last minute and a half, 2 minutes.
It was 5 consecutive wide open. Like the offense generated. It wasn't just like let me cook kind of thing. The offense generated 5 really good shots.
Very good shots.
And they all missed.
Yep. Over the last 10, Chet is down to 30% from the 3-point line.
Yeah, that matches the eye test.
He is. The thing that's making me a little bit crazy with his game right now is I just wish he would like chuck him a little bit.
Yeah.
How many times do you see him get the ball at the 3-point line? And we're splitting hairs at this point. Like that
quick pump fake
last night was not a big deal. Like I don't get frustrated that they lose that game, other than the fact that they could have won. Same thing, like you should have beat him without Fox. Got it. You should have also won. They had the potential to win last night, so whatever.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'm like, there's just things you have to look at and say, okay, so Chet is obviously in this place where people are starting. And I think Mark said it a couple weeks ago after the Houston game. He's talking about people have watched us play offense now for 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
They're adjusting to the way we play offense, and we have to adjust backward, right? Like we have to, or in response as well. And so they're figuring some of that out. And part of that is Chet figuring out, okay, people have figured out some of these parts of who I am. How do I move to a different direction kind of thing, and part of it is, I don't know why he's hesitating on so many threes, maybe because he's shooting 30%.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes he gets the ball and he pump fakes when he really just shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. That happens a lot where he just needs to fire away. And I think he will eventually. Because he is a good shooter. And he's going through a little bit of a mini slump. And that happens.
Also, who's going to block you?
Yeah, nobody. A lot of times he's wide open.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's pump faking to.
That's true. There's like a guy running from maybe
he pump fakes to give the defender time to make
to
up
get
ground.
on him. Yeah.
He's being generous.
Yeah.
This is the time of giving and sharing right now, and he's trying to give a little time to the defender. Yeah, it was rough. The bench wasn't great either. Like Casey Wallace 1 for 3. Wiggs was good, but he only played 7 minutes. I would have liked to see more Wiggs last night. He had 6 points on
only
4 shots.
7 minutes.
Yeah,
those were very memorable minutes because he was great in those minutes. And I
yeah.
felt like he really helped the offense stay in that game during that time.
Yeah, he was a -5.
Oh God,
I'm just kidding. Isaiah Joe. I mean, he was, but like it's not his fault. Isaiah Joe 2 of 7, Kenrich 1 of 5, and just absolutely got murdered.
Oh my God, that was so nasty.
Oh my gosh. Bertans 0 of 1. Jang, who's been playing, he's played 2 games and he's played pretty well. 2 of 4 from 3, 2 of 4 overall. He's all right.
He wasn't afraid to let those fly either, though.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
And I actually have a lot of confidence when he shoots them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was looking good.
Good boy, Jay.
Then Jay Will was good. 1 of 3 though. 1 of 3, 6 boards, 3 assists. He was all right. It was just a rough night for a lot of guys. I mean, they shot 30% from 3, 43% from the field. To the Kings, 49% from the field, 40% from 3. So I mean, like that's where you lose the game. And they stayed in it because they made 24 free throws, 16 of those from Shea, and that's kind of the game. The Thunder did only lose the rebounding battle 44-47.
Hey,
so shout out.
God, it did not feel like that. It felt like they were getting every rebound. The Kings.
In fact, the Thunder had 5 more offensive rebounds than the Kings did last night.
Wow.
So it's a reality. That's the reality of the thing.
Reality bites.
Yeah.
See you, man.
But Jay.
Oh, okay.
And they took.
Jay's gonna go pee. Really? Straight across.
Just
find
keep
a
walking.
corner, let it rip.
They took 102 shots to the Kings 95 as well, is how they stayed in this. Is that they generated turnovers and they had offensive rebounds, which is not very Thunder-like. But they gave themselves a chance to win this game. If
they played hard. They played hard.
If they just made 2 of those 5 shots, they probably win the game.
Mm-hmm. If J-Dub has an average game.
Yeah, if J-Dub just has an average game. If Chet makes that corner 3 to put them up 1, I think they win the game. Because I think then you just give the ball to Shea.
Mm-hmm.
And they're defensively, they weren't very good throughout the game. Some of that is the Kings are really tough to defend. But they played well they played well enough down the stretch to win the game, and they just didn't. So it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
It's if you pick the team to win 50 games, they have to lose 32.
Oh wow, that's a very positive way to look at this. Thank you.
Yeah,
you're right. Well, they don't have to.
If they win 50, they do.
Oh, like if you pick 50 exactly, they can't go over 50.
I say, would you say at the end of the season, if the Thunder win 50 games, is that a success?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. They have to lose 32
But what I'm saying is you're capping them at 50. What I'm saying is you're not leaving the door open for more.
It's true.
So they don't have to win. Thunder, you don't have to lose 32.
I mean, I picked them.
You can lose less.
I mean, I picked them to win 46 games. So they got to lose a lot of games to get there.
They have to lose way more.
For my prediction to be correct,
yeah,
they have to lose a lot more.
You guys are looking at wins. Andrew's counting losses here.
That's right. I'm still rooting for losses here.
It's just something clicked. Something switched in his brain during those years that we needed to lose.
The tanking years ruined me. Oh man! So the Thunder are 15-8. They sit at 3rd in the West, behind Denver and Minnesota, and they play Denver on Saturday night, which is, I mean, it's a big game.
Mm-hmm.
Denver's really tough. It's a tough matchup. These kinds of centers, Domas and Jokic, give the Thunder a lot of trouble.
Maybe they can just try to get Jokic to complain 2 times so they'll kick him out of the game.
That is how it works. Is you just need to get him thrown out of the game.
How is he getting thrown out of these games like that?
He's kind of being a moron.
But it's not like crazy.
I mean, he
must be saying stuff under his breath.
Well, he said after the game the other day that he called the official mother F her.
Okay.
And he said, sometimes it gets you thrown out, sometimes it doesn't. After the game.
I bet that's a pretty regularly used.
Yeah. I also think we can all agree that they should probably not be allowed to do that.
To what?
To call the official that.
Yeah.
Like, in one other line of work, can you call the person who can control, what's going on? Or is it just cool for you to do that?
Jays.
What did I miss?
How many people at your work call you a mother effer every day?
Not one.
Really?
Not one. We're talking about Jokic on how can they get Jokic thrown out of the game, because that's what he was calling the official the other day.
I mean, yes, that's gonna get you kicked out.
Yeah, you should not say that to people. Just in general, I would say.
Yeah.
Just
I think that's a good life
rule of life. Don't do that. Don't call people that.
Except if you're like, "Hey, what's up, mother?"
Yeah,
okay.
You can.
See, that's cool. That feels good.
I would search for other ways to express that.
Yeah, that is
like what?
Hey, friend.
No, you've never said that to me.
Hello,
ever.
Friend.
Hello, Tayshawn.
I do. You have said that
a lot.
Hello, Tayshawn.
The Thunder still have the second best point differential in the Western Conference and the fourth best in the NBA.
Wow.
So they're doing well. They're doing great. That's the thing. Is like we watch these games sometimes in a vacuum as Thunder fans, where it's like, oh, this is terrible, but it's like, man, like
so dirty in here.
The other,
it's so tight.
Get
me out of this vacuum.
The other teams in the league, I mean, they're third in net rating in the NBA. They're ahead of the Wolves right now. Defensive rating fifth at a 110. Offensive rating of seventh at a 117.6. I mean, they are one of the best teams in the NBA. You lose games. Like, all these teams lose games. There's not one undefeated team. The Celtics have lost 5 games.
What?
And the Celtics are really good. So I just still want to encourage people to, like, try to enjoy this. Like, really be intentional about enjoying the team now, the way that it is. Because eventually they will go to the playoffs. They will lose in round 1 or round 2 or whatever. And then the next year, the expectation is not only do you get to the playoffs, but, like, people are going to be talking Western Conference Finals. People are going to be talking about going to the NBA Finals. And then if you don't get there, then it's disappointing. Like, this year, you don't have that. Like, we don't have any of that.
Disagree, actually.
NBA Finals?
No, I'm just saying the expectations are there. And that's what's hard is, like, you're watching a game last night where they clearly underperform, and you're, because of expectations, the likelihood of you getting frustrated is higher. So you're frustrated, but then you have to, like, stop and take some perspective and say, oh, their second year player is going to be inconsistent with J-Dub.
Yeah.
Their rookie that we depend on a lot is going to have games of inconsistency.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Shea is the only constant really on this team.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to have that perspective, even though we have shifted some of our perspective because of expectations. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't think, obviously, the finals, but they've shown multiple times that they can compete on a high level with really anybody.
Yeah, they're good.
So it's just like, it's hard not to have expectations and disappointment when they lose, but it is important to have that perspective.
Because, like, if you don't enjoy it, like, just, like, find ways to enjoy it this year. Like, the expectations are going to be, like, crushing to you. is my point. Like, in the future.
Isn't that what makes NBA fandom fun? If you aren't just feeling constantly crushed,
just absolutely destroyed.
What Jay's talking about here is feelings.
Yeah.
Emotions.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm glad to have him back. I'm glad to have him back because it's been a rough couple years.
Just disappointment.
Just numbness watching Thunder games. And now it's like, it's back.
Yeah.
It's not numb anymore. I'm very upset when Josh Giddey won't just go up. I was like, go up.
Yeah.
In my living room.
Yeah.
Go up.
But then how did you feel in the third quarter?
I was like, dang, he's playing pretty good.
He's pretty good. Did you feel the same way about J-Dub, who was 2 of 14?
Yeah. Let me think of things I said out loud to myself in the living room. Just things like, oh my God, J-Dub. Oh, come on. Can't make anything. Trade him.
Trade him.
Cut him.
Get him out of here. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the Kings were good. De'Aaron Fox has been amazing this year. 41 points, 14 of 25, 8 of 11 from the free throw line.
He's scary. He's such a scary player to play against.
He's so fast. His shooting has gotten so much better. I mean, he took 11 threes last night.
Yeah, I thought all of them were going in.
Yeah, it did feel that way. He was awesome. Domas was great. Monk and Keon Ellis off the bench were amazing. Yeah, I mean, it was a good game.
It was a great game. Harrison Barnes.
What are the Kings? What's the Kings? Sorry, I know I could pull this up pretty quickly.
Record?
Yeah, where are they in the standings?
They're 14-9. They're just behind the Thunder. I mean, the West is going to be really tight. It's going to be really tough. They're fifth, so just behind the Mavs, who are 15-9.
Yeah, by half a game.
So yeah. I mean,
well, and the only reason I even asked that is because I know a lot of the conversation leading into the season was, would they see a regression for the Kings because last year was such a high season, right? Like,
yeah.
And so far, it seems like they're still playing at a really high level. And the only reason they're probably even this low in the rankings is because they missed a chunk of time without De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, totally.
Kings are a good team. Like that's
good.
Now I think that
the Thunder have lost 8 straight to the Kings, by the way.
We have to, yes, I know it's wild. Do you remember? And I think about it this way. I think it's Kendrick Perkins. There was a game where those younger Thunder were playing the Kings and they went in at halftime. They're down by like 12. And Perk's whole thing was, don't forget they're the effing Kings.
Yeah.
You know, and then they came back and won. And DeMarcus Cousins said something, jab back at Perk. And because there was a long time where it was the opposite, where the Thunder were beating the Kings the whole time. I will say that I think that these are the kind of games, though, that if they would have played both of the times that they played the Kings at home, I think it's a different result. Just because the likelihood of guys making their shots is just a little bit higher at home.
Yeah.
Energy of the room.
Although they've been awesome on the road.
The Kings?
The Thunder.
Yeah.
They've lost
just not against the Kings.
Just not against the Kings. They're not good against the Kings in any building.
Sounds like there could be like a Dr. Seuss line for that.
Is there?
Not in. No, I'm not going to give the effort though.
Okay. Yeah, they're 7-4 on the road, 8-4 at home. They do have after this Denver game, they have 5 straight games at home. So that should be helpful to them. They are tough opponents though.
Should be.
So on Monday they play Memphis, which is not a tough opponent. The last game that Memphis will play without John Morant. Maybe.
Wow.
I've heard he's up to like the same old shenanigans though.
Really?
Yeah.
Same old jaw.
Seriously though.
Really?
Yeah. Then the next 4 are really tough. Clippers, Lakers, Minnesota, Knicks.
Wow.
Like that's a tough stretch. And then they play Denver
Wow.
on the road again after that. And then
home stretch bookended by 2 trips to Denver.
Yeah, 2 trips to Denver.
That's what they're saying about it.
And then Brooklyn on New Year's Eve.
Have you ever been to the New Year's Thunder game?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Is it fun?
They're fun. They're fun. You need to have something to go to afterwards because you get out early.
What would you suggest?
It feels like,
what do you do on New Year's Eve?
Well, now nothing.
Just sit at home, try to make it till midnight or go to bed.
Hopefully. Yes. I won't make it to
You do
midnight. I
anything
don't
on-
care.
You do anything on New Year's Eve?
We usually go to a friend's house. But
All the kids and everything?
But we don't. We usually don't stay till midnight. Definitely not.
Yeah. But the games, it feels like, okay, this is fun. This is what I'm doing New Year's Eve. And then you go and then you get out 2.5 hours before you're.
The way to do it is to do that. If you're in Oklahoma City and you've got if your life allows it.
Yes.
Then go to the Jones Assembly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Their
Just
New
have
Year's Eve
somewhere to
Yeah,
go
that's a good idea.
afterwards.
You'll
Because
also probably see the L-Man there.
oh, it's a Hellman at
Yep.
New Year's Eve.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. One that is like they can't lose to Memphis on Monday.
Can't do it.
4-4.
Memphis.
So 4-4. What's your prediction, Tayshawn?
6-3. I think they find something special deep down inside.
Like one extra game.
What do you mean?
That's
6 + 3 is 8. 6. Watch. 6, 7, 8. 3. See?
I think 4-4 is a very fair expectation. That would put them at 19-12 after that stretch.
This will also be the last year. Just go ahead and mark this down.
Mm-hmm.
The last year that the Thunder aren't playing on Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's true.
So enjoy your Christmas with your family because next year it's game day.
Oh, it's still game day, dude. I love Christmas so much.
I love
my
Christmas
God.
too. Yeah,
Just basketball on
It's
all
the best,
day.
man.
It's amazing.
It's great.
Well, and this year it's a Sun. No,
It is a.
It's a Monday.
It's a
Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. So Christmas Eve has football on too, and then
Wow.
Christmas Day has basketball.
The reason for the season, am I right,
I know,
boy?
man. Yeah, just sports all day. Ignore your family.
It's a great day. You can look for the Athletic NBA show Christmas special. Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday.
Ooh.
The 23rd of December.
Yes, I am putting it together. I think it's gonna be very fun.
How's the in-season tournament, man?
It was cool. Yeah, I had a good time.
How were the vibes? What were the vibes like in Vegas?
Very Laker-y.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, part of me just is like, man, the league is so lucky that the Pelicans didn't win that game
Oh, yeah.
because it was a Lakers home game. I mean, it was 90% Lakers fans.
Dang.
And so I'm sure it still would have been 90% Lakers fans. They would have just had no rooting interest, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wonder about like location. I wonder about the location. You can slide over if you want.
I'd love to. Just leave.
You just don't have to tell everybody.
Why are you leaving so early?
Yeah, I wonder about the league if like it's two small markets that don't travel well, what does that look like for them? So it worked out really well the first go around for the in-season tournament. I do wonder what it looks like in the future. I also wonder if they're going to have it in.
Oh, we're going.
Yes, I mean it was fun. It was super fun. But yeah, saw Cooper Flag play in his. Like they had this like EYBL showcase thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that was cool.
Were there a bunch of scouts there?
Yes, it was like the whole. There's like a whole media row up front. It's like all NBA scouts and executives. Like Danny Ainge was there, and then just like a bunch of like higher level executives and scouts just sitting all across. And then I'm sitting at like the very end. I'm like, definitely don't belong here.
You're like pretending to take notes on him.
I did not. I just am like taking like short videos. Like, who's this guy? Why is he here?
Hey, why are you here? Who's that? He seems pretty good.
It was fun. There's like a lot. These high school kids are really good. Like really, really good basketball players.
They look like men. They are men.
They are grown men, but they're like 16, 17 years old. But yeah, it was super cool. Okay. Shall we take a quick break and then come back for Tayshawn's factoid?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Hey, thanks, man. Hey, thank you, dude.
And we're back after that quick break. Now it's time for Tayshawn's factoid victory.
Jimmy, I would imagine that you don't.
Tayshawn's factoid victory. Tayshawn's factoid victory.
Hey, I'm Tayshawn. This is my victory.
Jimmy,
Jimmy Draymond Green has been infinitely suspended. That's what I say.
That would be so much better.
Not indefinitely, infinitely suspended.
That would be so much better.
He just keeps punching people, choking people, hurting people. Here's the part that I'm like most interested in now, though. It's gone. Now people don't talk about how it's bad for the game. They used to say like, let's just keep it about basketball. We don't have to do all this extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what Rudy Gobert said?
I did. Will you?
I'm going to read it.
Yeah,
I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
This is Rudy Gobert on Draymond Green. Okay. I have empathy for him. Should I read it in a French accent?
I don't know.
Okay. I have empathy for him. You see somebody that's not well inside and suffering. You take away the game and all that, and you want somebody to be well and to be able to do what we do every night and compete and be happy.
Wow.
Okay, if I was Draymond Green, there is nothing Rudy Gobert could say that would make me more angry than that.
Yeah.
He's at home and he's just smashing every ornament on his tree.
Yeah, it reminds me of. I heard somebody say this before about somebody. They said that he is a man with no peace.
Oh,
and it's
my
like,
God.
Yeah, and like in the circumstance that I was in, I was like, yeah, it's totally true. In this circumstance too, it's totally true as well.
And like if they were best friends and Rudy Gobert went to him and said that, then like totally different thing, right? That's like, hey, I really care about you.
Yeah.
He could say the exact same words, and in a different context, it could be really life-changing.
Yeah.
But I think Rudy Gobert,
it's the ultimate dig, right?
It's so hurtful. I couldn't believe he said that.
Yeah. It's the ultimate dig.
That's like bless his heart.
Yeah.
Except more than that, way more than that.
Yeah.
Basically saying like, man, I feel so bad for him. The guy who choked me out, I feel so bad for him. I forgive him, but I hope he finds peace. I really hope he finds a way to be happy. This is such a great life he has.
But like,
he's probably right.
Don't you think?
Yeah, he's probably right. Well, Steve Kerr said it too.
I was about to bring that up. That Steve Kerr almost said the exact same thing.
And that's different to me as well, right?
Yeah.
Kerr saying it is like, okay, this is really serious. I think Kerr's kind of admitting something here, or even, informing the public of something here that, hey, there's something way deeper going on, obviously.
Yeah.
But the fact that Kerr really said, I mean, he spoke about it for like 2 minutes like that. Kerr did.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a serious thing. They probably are making him get more anger management or therapy or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see.
For infinity. But it's been a very interesting thing. I thought like the choking, 5 games, and then I was surprised. Were you surprised it was indefinitely suspended? I was.
Well, did you see the whole Zach Lowe thing? So Zach on his show said, and I think he kind of let this slip. He said something to the effect of, I don't know when he's going to come back, and I'll just leave that there. But he said it before the report was out. And then later, people were like tweeting at him, like, hey, what does that mean? It sounds so ominous, blah, blah, blah. And then he quote tweeted and said, apologize for saying that. We're taking it out of the show. I just it makes me wonder if like he said it and it was like an off the record thing, like that he had like the info prior. I don't know that for sure. I just kind of wondered about that because and so it made me wonder at the time, like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Slater said yesterday on Tampering that he thinks it'll be January when he comes back. Initially I thought, oh man, he'll probably get like a 3 to 5 game suspension for this, and then we'll just move on. But it'll probably end up being like 10 or 12 games.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a lot. And I understand like he's a repeat offender, or you have all these, he's obviously has some issues that he needs to. But Slater brought up a really good point. Like, if they really are wanting to make a long playoff run, having Draymond Green as one of your best players is a complete liability because he's likely to do something like this in a playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
And this time around, if he does that, is he going to be eligible to play?
Yeah, and you're just not even getting the other, like the good side of it.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, he used to be productive. You used to get a lot of positive plays out of Draymond.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of that left with him in his play.
Yeah.
He's just kind of
he's still good, though.
He's still good.
He's still good. The problem is that Clay isn't good.
Right. Clay was good last night.
That, to me, is like the biggest issue, is that Clay has really struggled this year. And then they don't have, like, Chris Paul is like in and out of the lineup. I mean, there's a lot of issues with the Warriors, but this is certainly like one of the bigger ones, is that they need more production. And Wiggins has been terrible. You know, they have a lot of problems. Draymond's like antics are definitely
say it. They're over. It's over for them. The dynasty. It's over.
It's over.
Andre Iguodala and KD are fighting.
What would you do? What would be your course of action
if I was what?
If you were the GM of the Warriors, like, how would you want to handle this?
Oh God, I don't even know. I think let it go out the way Steph wants it to go out.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. It's just Steph is the guy now.
Yeah,
you know, I'm talking to him. What do you want to do?
Yeah,
and he's like, "Man, I'm not the GM." And I'm like, "No, you're the thing about this team. You are the reason that this team is this team now."
Yeah,
you know, whatever you want to do, let's do it. That's my job, and that's my job security.
Yeah,
I think that would be the right decision.
I've had people tweeting at me, like, seeing the stuff with the Warriors falling apart, and they're like, "You think the Thunder could just trade for Steph Curry?" It's like, guys, nobody can trade for Steph Curry.
Yeah.
They will not trade Steph unless he requests the trade. And I don't think that he will request the trade. I think that he will be, my guess is he'll be a Warrior for life.
Warrior for life. And, you know, I think they could go out the way that, you know, the Mavs did it. Mavs had a pretty good transition from the Dirk era into, it was long and it was slow.
Yeah. Well,
the Luka era.
Well, that's what I wonder. Should you trade Kuminga now? Or should you trade Clay or Draymond and try to surround Steph with younger guys to try to keep this thing going?
Yeah.
I mean, think of like Tim Duncan. Like, Tim Duncan's career was rejuvenated by Clay.
Yeah, but he still had Manu and Parker there. You know what I'm saying? It's like that team, it basically stayed together the whole time.
Yeah.
But I don't think Steph can, like, Steph is still Steph. Clay is not Clay. Dre is not Dre.
Yeah.
Iguodala's been gone. It's like the team.
Would you rather trade Clay or Draymond?
Would I rather trade Dre or Claymond?
I'm glad you finished it. That's the road you were headed down.
It was.
You hesitated. You almost backed out
because I was confusing myself. I was like, "How was I making that up?" I don't know. Both of them. Trade both of them. Who has more value right now?
I don't know. I would trade Clay. I would just. There's some dumb GM out there that's like, it's Clay.
We'll
Thompson.
fix Clay. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be Clay.
He'll be good with us.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, Klay Thompson will help put butts in seats. Yeah. It's tough. Hey, I'm going to do something. We might bump off the stream real quick, but I'm going to cut this from this is some live stuff. So just hang with us. Stay on the stream. Stay on the stream. Okay, we're back. It should be a little bit better now. Okay. Anything else for Tayshawn's?
Oh no!
Did you have a question?
Yeah.
What's the question?
How How many things would you break in your house if Rudy Gobert said that about you? It just couldn't come from a worse person.
Yeah, think about it. Maybe it's not Rudy. Maybe it's like your worst enemy.
Yeah,
says that about
right.
you.
Your worst enemy that he just annoys you, even if it has nothing to do with you, and you're just like, how is that person a person?
I would smash this coffee cup. I would take it and just
on your head,
sling it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's. I would love to see a live reaction from Draymond of him reading that quote.
Just nothing, just like a slow boiling inside of all of his organs, and
he might die.
He might die just from that Rudy comment.
Yeah, it might just be over.
Yeah,
that would be devastating.
Take John's factoid figuring out the reap. Take John's factoid figuring out the reap.
Hey, I'm Tayshawn. This is my victory.
let's do some Twitter questions. Oh my gosh, I am so out of practice pressing these buttons. I actually don't know what any of them are right now.
Hit me with the Jimmy A.
Jimmy.
Twitter questions. You got questions and you got them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Let's get down to it.
First question comes from @Rob_Diggs_sports. Would you consider trading for Robert Williams III if the Thunder could get him on an injury bargain? Maybe a first rounder plus Bertans, allowing him to rehab for the season and then have him ready to go as a backup big for next season.
No, I don't feel good about trading a first rounder and Bert.
Yeah,
for that. I think we could trade a first rounder and Bert for someone good to take a chance on. But Robert Williams, it's been a while. Robin Williams, he's been dead for what's he been dead now? Years.
5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from on this, because the ideal role for Rob Williams is a backup, because I just don't think he's going to consistently play a lot of minutes in the league, just with his injury history. That's also the reason why I wouldn't trade for him, is like the injury history is like, it's not good for a young guy and for a big. So I wouldn't do that, but I do understand like the idea of having that guy come off your bench behind Chet and be one of your better players. I think it's an interesting way to spend your draft assets. And I do think that it would be a smart way to do it, because J. Will is good, and maybe we just need to give J. Will more time. I think he's a good player, but like the difference between like a healthy Rob Williams and J. Will is it's a pretty big difference.
Oh, definitely.
And so I don't hate the idea at all. I also don't, and you, I guess you could play he and Chet together some as well against some bigger teams. So I don't hate the idea. I think that he is a thundery player because of the passing and because of his like on-court awareness. I think that's really, I think he could fit within what they want to do, even though he doesn't really shoot it. But I don't hate the idea, but I would be surprised if something like that happened.
He could be our Nazir Muhammad.
Yeah, sure.
Would you trade Bertans and a first rounder for Nazir Muhammad?
No. I mean, we have Nazir Muhammad. He's the GM for the Blue.
Hey.
So
you get that in a jersey.
Don't even have to do it. Hoopsock69, what about the Micic trade rumors? I don't know if there's really trade rumors.
I think he's not at the status of an NBA player
you got to dig deep to find those.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Zach, I hadn't heard this, but I've had people messaging me and texting me about Zach Lowe saying that he is basically like a $7 million like trade piece, to be used. And like maybe that ends up being true. I definitely don't read the situation that way. I may be wrong, but that's not how I read the situation. At rluke_406, what do you think about Trey Mann and Poku and a second for Kelly Olynyk? He's an unrestricted free agent after the season, but a high field big who popped next to SGA and Dort in FIBA. Would you trade back or increase protections on Utah's 2024 first for him? I'm all in on the lunch lady threesus. I love the idea of Kelly Olynyk. I wouldn't mess with the pick. Is honestly like it's not worth like messing around in that way with it. I like the way the protections are. The Thunder are most likely not going to get that pick this year, which is awesome because this draft like super stinks. And so if like you can push that to a different draft, that would be ideal. But I love the idea of Kelly Olynyk here. I think he's great. I think that he is what we want Jay Will to be as an offensive player down the road. I think he's super good. So yeah, I think he would be amazing for this team. He fits really well, shoots it, good passer. I think you could play him next to Chet in certain lineups with like two spacing bigs. I think he'd be perfect. He's like Dario Saric if Dario was good. So
come on, he did a lot of good things for this team.
did some good things. You can tighten these and it'll.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean Dario's fine, but Kelly's a really good player.
I'm just saying, Sarge didn't need the stray bullet there.
I agree. That was wrong. I take it back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like the idea. I wouldn't give up a whole lot. I don't know that I would even put Trey Mann in that trade. Honestly, like I think you could. Let's see what. Let's like work up a trade for Kelly Olynyk because I do think it's a good idea, and I think it's like it's one of those that's like, oh yeah, sure. Like he's expiring. Maybe he's not going to go back to Utah. Utah wants to. You give them a second. I mean, you've got 22 or 24 second round picks, something like that. Like yeah, like fine. So Kelly Olynyk is making $12.1 million on an expiring deal. Like this is where you could use Bertans,
right?
And you can take back a little bit more salary as well. Let's see. Fontecchio's actually okay, but he is also on an expiring. You could take back Chris Dunn. You could take back Yurt. You could take back like Samanic, who's like expiring. You know, like whatever we can do to get to the number we need to, plus a second round pick.
Wow, that's an interesting looking group of players you're trading for each other.
Why is that?
They just all look European.
Yeah. Kelly's Canadian.
I know, he looks European.
So I mean I like the idea. I think it's like low risk, low cost. He helps you, but he doesn't like change your trajectory all that much. I think he's just like a steadier hand for you down the stretch of the season. I like the idea. And honestly, like if you spend a second round pick to get him, then you can let him go, even after the season and not feel bad about it at all. So I'm personally in favor of that idea. I like that.
Take this man to the trade machine. Take this man.
From at Peterman 33. Kevin Huerter's headband makes me irrationally angry. Is there something an NBA player wears or does that makes you irrationally angry?
Everything. Reggie Jackson, the whole thing.
Does
anyone have more accessories?
It's like him and Kirk Heinrich are like the accessory kings.
Yeah. Reggie's adding 20 pounds to his body. He's slowing down his pace. There's no way it's helping him play basketball, having that many things on you.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's so many things. It makes me mad. That's all I really notice. And then when he scores on you and he's wearing all that stuff, it just feels wrong.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, Reggie. I mean, Reggie just makes you mad anyways.
Right.
Just seeing him play. but then with all the accessories, like it gives you it gives you more of a reason to be mad at him.
Let me think. Who has a terrible face? Austin Reeves should make me mad, but he doesn't.
Austin's great.
He's great.
He's awesome.
I just like him. I like everything he says too. He never says anything that I'm like, oh, that's annoying or egotistical.
No. Like he's from small town Arkansas. Like he's the man. He's awesome. Like you think about his life, Austin Reeves' life.
Yeah,
it's crazy because like he grew up in a town of like 1,000 people, and he's told the story a lot where he was telling people like his dream was to be in the NBA. And people just were like, you're insane.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you're going to the NBA. And now he's not only in the NBA,
he's an IST champion.
He's an IST champion playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, like, that's like the coolest thing.
And he gets minutes, which means he has the LeBron approval.
He has the LeBron approval.
He has the LeBron stamp of approval.
He's a Lakers white guy.
He's legitimately good, too.
He was awesome.
Legitimately a very good player.
He's a really good player.
That is usually a player that would piss me off, but he doesn't. I just like him. I just root for him.
Yeah, he's good.
I'd have a hard time. I like Kelly Olynyk. I'd have a hard time with that face. Who else's face?
Yeah, Kelly's face is tough.
It's the facial hair for me.
The facial hair too. Yeah, Chet was like almost going down that road, and then
what happened? Did he take some? He took some supplement that it really filled in. He did something.
Well, he's just been growing it out for a while, but he also decided to grow the mustache, which is like good choice.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you just, if you're gonna do it, just do it.
You have to have a mustache if you're growing a beard.
Yeah, you have to.
Sorry, fellas.
Yeah, you just have to. At J Bedwords, why does Sabonis dominate Chet?
He's just he might be the most skilled. No, not the most skilled.
No.
How do I say this though? Because there is something he is the best at, which is just rolling and quick, short post moves.
Quick decisions, super smart, crazy strong is one of the things right now.
Crazy strong. Where he positions himself to receive passes is like really incredible too.
Yeah.
He's so good at that. Like I was just watching him in like rolling, and he was always a pass looked like how are they going to get that to him? And he was just in the right spot to get it. Nothing fancy looking, but just fundamentally the way he's rolling and playing basketball like that as a big man is like, yeah, that's pretty much perfect.
Yeah. And he just knows how to move people. With his body.
Does.
Like that's the thing that I think hurts Chet the most is that he just knows how to move guys out of the way and does it regularly, and Chet has not figured that out yet. Which, like, guys, like we are just 1/4 of one season into Chet's career. Like he's not a like finished product. He's not the perfect player. He's a great player, and I think he's on track to be like a future Hall of Fame type of guy. Like he has that level of skill and like that level of talent. But we are like this is so early. It's still so early. Things are going to change. He's going to get stronger.
The guy we're talking about, Sabonis, we had him here his rookie year. He was not this player. If you want to look at a player that has really changed a lot since rookie year in what they're able to do and what they've become, that's kind of the perfect guy.
Yeah.
He did not play like that when he was here.
He was like not even close to as good as Chet is.
Yeah, right. Not even close. He was actually scared.
He was terrified.
He does not play scared anymore.
To play with Russell.
That rookie year, he was a scared man.
Yeah, he was. At Step Banks, we've seen Kaysen step into the starting role when SGA, Dort, Dub have been out. But if Giddey were moved out of the starting lineup, which I don't think will happen, by the way, but we'll go with you here. Either for a 6-man role or for other reasons, could Kaysen be a long-term replacement? Or is the lineup of SGA, Kaysen, Dort, Dub, Chet too small?
I don't know. We've talked about how Kaysen can kind of play a lot of different positions for his size, and that's something he has.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to play kind of big. That doesn't mean I don't know how to say it other than that.
Yeah.
It probably is too small as far as height goes.
It is without a doubt too small
Yeah.
as height goes. And like you look at like defensive rebound rate, it's tough to justify it. Like Kaysen's not good as a defensive rebounder. Some of that is his size.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I don't know that you can have that many guys that are, I mean, they're all guards. I mean, it's like four. I mean, it still is 4 guards in Chet now, but one of your guards is 6'8", and like his rebound rate is one of the best on the team. I just don't know that you can. I don't know that you can do it. I just don't. I mean, if you think the rebounding now is a problem, like inserting Case and Wallace into that starting lineup will make it even worse. I mean, Giddey's defensive rebound percentage is double what Kaysen's is. So it would make a problem that we have even bigger. But I understand like the idea, like Kaysen's a better shooter. Kaysen is like a lower usage player too, and like could potentially provide some space. Like I get it. I get the idea. I think it would help in certain areas, it would hurt in other areas. And I'm still willing to be patient with Giddey in all of this, and we'll see what happens. He may end up being booted from the starting lineup at some point. But I'm still willing to be patient with him. Let's see. At Austin Cardell. The West.
His name is Austin Cardell.
That's his name.
Weird.
The West is entering into its typical logjam playoff seedings. Where do you envision we end up in at year's end? I'd be thrilled with a top 4 finish. Who is more likely to finish with 20 points per game average this season, Chet or J-Dub? And who's first team All-NBA? Cheers from Sao Paulo in Brazil. Shout out. Lots of questions here. Where do you think the Thunder end up in the rankings at the season's end?
I have a hard time thinking of them as a team that's going to stay in that 2nd through 4th seed, just because I'm a fan of the team, and I have to have a little bit of pessimism here. But if they are going to win 50 games, that's where they might end up.
I mean, that's definitely where they would end up if they won 50 games.
2nd seed?
I think they'll be 4th is my prediction.
4th? Okay. I'm comfortable with that.
In a 4-5 matchup.
Yeah. That would be cool. That would be very cool.
Listen, just
that would be amazing.
To get home playoff games would be amazing. Would be really amazing.
And we don't have to lose in the plan.
Yeah. Who's more likely to finish with 20 points per game this season, Chet or Dub?
What are they at?
So currently they sit at 17 for J-Dub, 16.9.
Oh, it's very close.
This is why I asked the question. It's like it's really.
Oh
really
man,
close.
I would go J-Dub. I don't know.
I'm going Chet.
Okay. Good. We'll split it. I'll go J-Dub. I'll cheer for J-Dub and boo Chet, and you cheer for Chet and boo J-Dub.
Deal. At Zach Deeg, where would Kaysen go in a way too early redraft? So let's take a look at last year's draft. So Wemby, Brandon Miller would not go second, I don't think. Gosh, who would go second?
You don't think so?
I mean, maybe he would.
I think he still might be able to hold that spot.
Oh, yeah. This draft is weird. This draft has already gotten weird. Like in a redraft, I mean, I think you probably, because like, would Scoot go 3rd still?
I don't know.
Where the Thompson twins go?
See, Scoot might fall behind.
It's really tough because like Wemby and Brandon Miller are playing a lot. Like that's great. Scoot's like playing a little bit better lately, but there's like been out with injuries, started the season horribly. Amen Thompson hasn't played, and I don't know that he's going to get a ton of chances to play with the way that the roster is constructed this season. Asar has been really good in spots and not so good in other spots. Just flat out cannot shoot. Anthony Black can't shoot either. Bilal would maybe go a little higher. He's been all right for a really bad Wizards team. Jarris Walker doesn't play. Taylor Hendricks has played some. How much did he play last night? Markkanen was back on a minutes restriction last night and played well, but I did not monitor what happened with Taylor Hendricks last night. He played 25 minutes still. That's good.
Wow.
He's not awesome, but he's all right.
I think Kaysen would go. Would you put him in that 6-7?
Yeah, probably in that slot. Yeah, Scoot Henderson last night in 35 minutes, coming off the bench, 23 points, 10 assists, 2 boards. That's good.
That's very good. Is that the best game he's had? Probably.
I would guess. I mean, it's probably too early to not keep him in that third spot.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're Charlotte, you don't feel quite as bad. Yeah,
no way. I was just thinking
that's by far his best game.
We gave Charlotte so much crap for taking Brandon Miller.
Yeah, dude.
But you know what? He came in and he was like pretty good right off the bat. And he stayed like all right for that team.
Yeah. I mean,
so not a terrible choice.
The problem is like Scoot not being very good. But maybe Scoot by season's end, we look back and say like, oh yeah, Charlotte's still dumb.
We have the right to do that.
Yeah, we do. Let's see. Okay. All right. We've gone an hour and 2 minutes. I think that's good. Thoughts on the arena vote? Did you couldn't vote because you live in the village?
Yeah, here are my thoughts. A ton of young people that definitely would have wanted to vote on this couldn't vote because they live in the village.
Yeah.
And we have our own government, I guess. I wasn't aware, but I guess when I get pulled over, I do have to pay the village.
Yeah.
And they have their own police. I even went and checked my trash cans. My trash cans say the village. I should have known. I just assumed they said Oklahoma City. I just assumed it was Oklahoma City trash.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
So I couldn't vote. So you know what? I don't have the right to have an opinion.
Wow. I mean, seriously, what'd you think?
I'm glad it passed. And Twitter made me think that the vote was going to be a little closer than it was because that was a landslide victory.
Landslide. The no votes were loud. That's for sure.
It's just a reminder that like the internet is not a real place.
Yeah, it is a great reminder.
Because I was really thinking, and it makes other people think that's what was going to happen too. Because I was getting a lot of comments like it's a ton of people are going to vote no, like in real life.
Oh, I know.
From like my wife, from people at work. Like, it really looks like there's a lot of people voting no. And then there wasn't. Yeah. So I'm like, man, we were just online too much, huh?
Yeah, it was definitely a way too online. Like all the thoughts were, and people that were voting no felt like they could express themselves more freely than the people that were voting yes for whatever reason.
I don't know if I agree with that. I saw a lot of people.
I mean, obviously, if 70%, online, was it 70% yes?
No.
30% no?
No. Probably not. No.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. No, you're right. Online, it felt like it was going to be closer to a 50-50.
Yeah. And it was.
And it was not.
Not even close. So, I mean, it's good. And like the thing is, there's going to be a really cool arena and like a really, like if you think downtown and OKC is like pretty cool now, it's going to be so much more awesome when this arena is done.
Mm-hmm.
Like the kinds of like restaurants and like it's going to be like an entertainment district or something like that. It's going to be amazing. It's going to make our downtown so much better. And I promise you, all the no voters are going to walk into that building saying, I'm so glad I voted yes for this. They're going to be so happy. They're going to be so proud of it. They're going to be so proud of what we did with our tax dollars.
Yeah.
I promise you that. It's going to be awesome. All right. We'll have another podcast for you guys on Monday. You guys enjoy the weekend. The Thunder play Denver on Saturday. Another really tough opponent. One that's not a great matchup for the Thunder if they lose 2 in a row. Seriously, don't go nuts. Like it's okay. There's no shame in losing to the Kings and the Nuggets. As long as they just did what they did in the last game, like give yourself a chance to win. If they get crushed by the Nuggets, like freak out, whatever you want to do.
There's no shame, but we're just saying, now there are expectations and it's easy to see the ways that you could have won.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen them win those games, in these ways before. So it's like, it's just feelings are back, man.
Feelings are back.
It's okay.
But
let people have their feelings.
But I'm just saying, like, don't forget to enjoy it. That's all.
It's a good reminder.
Like, just because it's going to be, this era of the Thunder is going to be here and gone. It's just we just have to enjoy it. Like, because I think that some people didn't even know how to enjoy the KD and Russ era.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, we were in expectations, like, so fast that it was like, oh, who are we going to trade for? Who's our fifth starter? You know, who's this? Who's that? Oh my gosh, are we going to,
It was fun though.
there was some really fun parts of it. I think we should just enjoy it. All right. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you guys again on Monday.